Okay, so this video, as you can probably tell from the title, is going to be on the standard argument, which is the Xbox 360 versus a PlayStation 3, but with one difference. This will be a genuine, true comparison, and the PS3 is the very best next-gen console available today, and I'm going to explain in detail why through just 6 simple questions, but you will see just how much better the PS3 actually is by the end of this video. So, if at the end of the video you still have more questions about the 360 versus PS3, just PM me on YouTube or comment in the comment box, and if there's more than another 6 questions, I'll compile them and probably make another final video proving all the 360 fanboys that the PS3 is the best console available. And because this is a genuine comparison, there will be no opinions in this video, just full hardcore facts. Now let's get started. Okay, so the first question says, are Blu-ray and dual-layer DVDs just as good as each other on a HD TV? Well, Blu-ray games contain 50 gig, meaning longer games with great graphics, and it holds a lot more data. You can't do that on 360 because of its lousy 7 GB disc, okay? Now, as far as Blu-ray and HD, they're pretty similar. I mean, Blu-ray's just a bit lighter. You may be able to see things you've never seen before, but there's very little difference in graphics, to be honest, okay? So let's move on to the next question. This says, Xbox 360s have sold more than the PlayStation 3. Does this mean they're better? Microsoft have sold more Xbox 360s because Microsoft is the biggest and most well-known company in the world, and therefore has a lot more attraction towards it. But let me tell you right now that 35% of the Xbox 360s that have been sold have been rebought because of the Red Ring of Death. That's right, the infamous Red Ring of Death. 35% of their sales is because people have bought their average system and it has failed on them. And it's crazy because people just don't learn. Instead of buying a PS3 the next time round, they go back out and buy another 360 because it's like $30 cheaper, and that's what they're used to. But it's stupid because then another 2 years down the line, the more recent one fails and they buy another. What's wrong with the world now? I mean, seriously, wake up and look at the facts, people. PS3 is more reliable. I know Microsoft have now started releasing Jasper consoles, which are less likely to fail, but they still can. They only have about a 4% failure rate compared to the previous 40% or something like that. But they did it too late. The 360 has been out since 2005, and they only started development of the Jaspers in 2008. They know that Sony is stealing a bit of their thunder, that's why. Okay, Sony is getting back some of their old customers. Alright, I'm not saying PS3s can't fail, because they can have system failure, but they're more protected and have a better chance of survival in this stupid war. Okay, I'm just making this video because I'm sick of arguments, and I'm just proving now how much better the PlayStation 3 actually is, because I'm sick of people saying the 360 is the best when if you look at the statistics they are clearly wrong. And this video is just to show a bit about the real comparison, because most people can't actually be asked to have a look at the statistics. So I'm making a video to make it a little bit easier for the retards out there. Alright, next question. Okay, so the next question isn't so much as a question as a statement, okay? So I read here, okay, someone said, PS3 and 360 exclusives are just as good as each other, so they're both equal in gaming. That is a complete load of bullshit. They are not equal in gaming because, as I said before, Blu-ray holds 50 gig rather than dual-layer DVDs, which only hold 7 gig. Okay, I think the biggest 360 game was something like 7.29 gig or something. So you see, with the PS3, you can have out of this world amazing graphics with an extremely long storyline and lots of gameplay. But on the 360, you can't, because it cannot store that type of capacity. For decent amount of gameplay in the 360 game, I'm talking about over 100 hours of gameplay, okay? Right? They have to be toned down, okay? The graphics have to be toned down to hold that kind of data. PS3, you don't have to do that. I mean, look at Metal Gear Solid 4. Seriously, that is some of the best proof you can get. It was a PS3 exclusive, had fantastic graphics, still one of the very best games to date graphically, story-wise and gameplay-wise. It was about 23 gigabytes data. There was rumours of it porting to the 360, but it never did because 360 can't deal with that capability. Alright, it can't. It just can't. That had great graphics, amazing storyline with like 6 hours or more of cutscenes added together, okay, and a decent amount of gameplay. What more can you want in the game? Seriously. I mean, seriously, there are not many games today that have as good or better graphics than Metal Gear Solid 4. They're amazing. Microsoft got pretty pissed with that because when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, right, it immediately became PS3's #1 best-selling game of all time, which is why Microsoft bought the copyright laws, the bastards, for the game, so Metal Gear Solid 5 would be exclusive to the 360. But guess what? They are still porting it to the PS3 because ever since Metal Gear Solid, they have been on PlayStation. The Solid series of Metal Gear started on PlayStation, and that's how the Solid series should end. I think Metal Gear Solid 4 should have been the last one, but I'll get to that on a different video or something. Mainly because Snake killed himself and Metal Gear Solid just ain't the same without Snake. Anyway, I'm just making a point that the PS3 has better games because of the large capacity it can store. And whilst I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and say that the PS3 has better exclusives than the 360. Another hardcore fact. Alright, I mean, sure, Microsoft had Gears of War, but it's not exclusive to the 360 because it's on the PC. Halo 1 and 2 are on the PC. In fact, the only good exclusives left on the 360 are Gears of War 2 and Halo 3. Other 360 exclusives and Halo ODST, let's be honest, was a pile of crap. Microsoft are really stretching out Halo more and more because they know it's what people like, and they're trying to make people stay with the 360 rather than reverting to the PS3, because as time goes on, more and more people are starting to see the truth that the PS3 is a better console. And in case you don't think PS3 has great exclusives, here's just a few I can think of off the top of my head. Okay, Uncharted 2, Metal Gear Solid 4, Lair, Heavenly Sword, God of War 3, Little Big Planet, Killzone 2, which fucking rocked, Resistance 1 and 2, Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction, Warhawk was a great online game, Motorstorm, let's just go ahead and throw in there Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1 and 2, alright? There, alright? I could think of 30 more as well. There is just some great exclusives for the PS3, and there's still more to come in the upcoming years. So that proves that the PS3 owns 360 in the games department.